Hello everybody. Man, it's good to be back. With an actual usable microphone, no less. Listen to me. No peaking, no audio dips. Oh, it's wonderful. This blue snowball ice microphone is a godsend. Anyway, welcome to part 3 of the Four Lords arc. If you're a long-running viewer of the channel, then first of all, you don't exist. And also, you might notice that something is very wrong with my loadout right now. You might even say that something is gravely wrong. That's right, I've switched my claimer out for the Gravelord Greatsword, which, unupgraded, is allegedly supposed to deal more damage than my plus 10 claymore. For some reason, I can't upgrade it further than that for the time being, so I made the decision to temporarily switch to Nito's weapon, at least until I find a way to get my claimer past the cap. I've also changed my chest armor out for something else easier to draw, so that making thumbnails wouldn't be as time consuming, but we're getting off topic here. Back to the objective. Having taken care of Gravelord Nito and the Witch of Izalith, my next target is now Seath the Scaleless, the ancient dragon who long ago betrayed his brethren and sided with the lords. It is said that Seath immersed himself in knowledge in an attempt to gain the immortality that he was born without. Brushing aside the strange fact that Seath can apparently read and understand our speech, there is no doubt that we will face many trials and tribulations during this quest. There's the most important question of how we can get past Seath's apparent immortality, but, things die when you hit them enough times. I'm sure this won't be much different. First, to test this weapon out. Okay, it's a bit slower than my claymore, but the damage should make up for it. To Anorlando we go! Huh, I could get used to this weapon. Whoa, it's one of you! I mean, I don't see any fire pits I can toss any alluring skulls into, so I suppose I'll fight you legitimately. The boar wasn't too difficult, but I wasn't used to its moveset, and I was using a slower weapon, so I did get hit quite a bit. On the bright side, I was right about the thrust attack being really good. So, even with the thing's incredibly durable armor, it didn't pose much of an issue. I also got the boar's helmet, which somehow shrunk to accommodate my head. It actually looks really good in my rags, but it's not my style. There was also a second boar, which did prove a bit more of a challenge. Probably because I'm stupid. Very stupid. But after I defeated it, it turns out that the boar was guarding a bonfire, so I had an opportunity to rest my weary, bruised, and bleeding little head. Whoa! Yikes! I basically fell for the oldest trick in the Dark Souls enemy book there, which is to ambush from the side. If that guy decided to attack instead of just standing there, I would have been in quite the pickle. I suppose I've gotten rusty. 64 from a two-handed slash? 64? Is this game messing with me? I really need to be careful around these hollows. Ooh, that felt good. Damage is disappointing, but it did feel nice. Ugh, I cannot get used to this weapon speed. Okay, game, not even a stagger, huh? As we enter the Duke's archives proper, we encounter a channeler of all things. Haven't seen one since the deaths. He was especially bad to deal with in this area because channelers have this move where they can buff other enemies in a certain vicinity around them. This makes the glass cannon hollows hit even harder. See that? One arrow did that! Not to mention they constantly fire these soul arrows at you. As I've learned in previous encounters, they're usually pushovers in melee. Their attacks are easily dodged and interrupted. But I overestimated the reach of my weapon here and got skewered really bad because of it. And as if that humiliation wasn't enough, the channeler teleports away while I heal. At one point I got tired of using the Gravelord sword. I could not for the life of me learn to adapt to a whole new style of weapon in the middle of a crucial mission. So I switched back to the claymore and what do you freaking know, it dealt more damage! Sometime later after recording I found out that, ignoring the sword's supposed damage number, the scaling on it was abysmal. So that probably explains why. Anyhow, the channeler's dead. It's quite a shame though, I did really like the visual design of the Gravelord sword. It was sort of like, Since it's the sword of Nero, the Lord of the Dead, like I was bringing death to Seath, the immortal dragon. And also I've grown to really like Bleach. But at the end of the day, Claymore, the old reliable, swings faster and hits harder. Whoa, a mimic! I haven't seen one of these in a while too. Potentially hostile chests would probably cause a whole load of bad reviews. First impressions of the Grand Archives? Much more chaotic than I expected. Then again, I shouldn't be expecting any sort of respite at all in Lordran. Next, I met this weird crystallized knight in a hallway, and I prepared myself for an epic duel, but I ended up killing him in 3 swings, and he couldn't even fight back. So... I made my way up the crystal-infested stairs, went through a fog wall, and... Seath? Now? But I only just got here. Alright, I need a plan. If Seath is here already, then that must mean that he's an extremely difficult enemy. First, I'll spend the first half of the fight dodging and weaving through his attacks so that I can tire him out. When Seath inevitably gets exhausted, I'll begin to play aggressively, overwhelming him slowly, blow after blow, giving him no respite. I'll keep doing this until Seath begs me to end the pain. I'll make him tell me how to counteract his immortality, and after I do whatever I need to do, well, the fight will be over. Alright, there's absolutely no way this can fail. Where am I? Wait, was I imprisoned by a dragon? Nah, whatever. Weirder things have happened to me here in Lordran. At least he was kind enough to leave me a bonfire. Ooh, I have cellmates. Hey buddy, what you in for? Whoa! Hey buddy, you don't want me calling the guards, do you? Ah! Right, who wants a piece? Tuh. Next time you try to pick a fight with somebody, make sure they aren't the Chosen Undead, huh? Ah, you poor amateur. Next time you try to guard a prisoner, make sure they aren't wielding a weapon, eh? What? Alright. You wanna have a go, huh? Oh, what? Oh. Alright, you wanna have a go? Then have at it! Ha! Hey, wait, hold on. Where are you going? Hey, you, I'm right here. Hello? I'm an escaping prisoner. Get down from there. Don't make me come after you. Ah, you cheeky bastard. After I dispatched those guards, these weird, tentacle slug things began coming after me. They weren't much of a challenge, and they were pretty squishy as you'd expect, but, like, man, Seath has a weird taste in guards. I understand the snake men, but those things... I make my way down the stairs, fighting enemies and looting cells all the while. When I got to the bottom, there was this weird pile of gears in the middle of the room that was arranged in such a way that I have no idea whether it's an actual machine used for something, or whether it's an art piece of sorts. Either way, it looks nice, so I took the opportunity to get a screenshot with it. Whoa! Hold on. Big Hat Logan? Is that you in there?
Hello again. What a chance meeting this is. Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose you could stage me a getaway. The archives. Such a storehouse of knowledge. So close, but just out of reach. The thought offends me, so I could simply die. As a student of the arts, you understand me?
I'm not a student of the arts. You refuse to teach me. Also, I probably should have turned off that gramophone before talking to you. I'll go do that right now, actually. Don't worry, I'll be back for you. Ah! Oh, that was bad. I have to deal with 2 tanks and a caster? Were you guys playing D&D or something? Ah! In the end, I did manage to prevail against these snakemen. I don't know how, considering that I've always done horribly against the 2 at the base of Sen's Fortress. I'll take it though. Alright, make it stop. I got a key which allowed me to leave this massive library plus prison area and came face to face with... whoa. Come on. Alright, I'm just gonna take care of these guys first. Oh dear god, I fell for it again. Ugh! Ugh! How about a taste of your own medicine? Alright, with those guys gone, I get a chance to appreciate this view. Huh. Seath has a castle all to himself? Man, Gwyn's really spoiled him, huh? This place would seem otherwise normal from the outside as well, if it wasn't for that massive growth of crystal all the way on the other side of the courtyard. Okay, so now, let's talk about this next area. I actually really like it. It might be one of my favorite areas in the whole game. First of all, the area doesn't seem to discourage me from exploration, unlike Tomb of the Giants in the Lost Izalith Lava Lake. It's brightly lit, and the multitude of enemies are added in a way that feels challenging, but like, not cheap. You can absolutely die here if you're not careful, but basically it teaches you to not run into a fight like an idiot and watch your back. There's gonna be archers, channelers that fire soul arrows at you, and a ton of these sword and shield crystal hollows that block paths and ambush you from behind. Now, I'm usually not a very bright person, but by being careful, sometimes, I manage to not die a single time while making my way through these levels and stairways. These challenging and fair encounters compounded on the fact that, for the first time in a while, I felt invigorated to look around. I mean, I didn't find a single illusory wall in my entire visit here, so if they do exist, I missed them. But other than that, I find that I did explore a lot of the place. I don't know, for a while now, I haven't been getting a lot of fun out of the game because every time I record a session, I don't play for another month or 2 because I have to edit the video and do schoolwork and stuff all the while. So I'm glad I was able to wind down with this experience. Also, the library has this turning staircase thing which is really cool, but I feel like it would just be inconvenient for a lot of people to use if this were an actual thing. One thing I find pretty weird is that the channeler is completely invulnerable from any attacks the moment he begins the teleportation animation, even when he's still fully opaque. It did provide a reason to use the turning staircase in a combat application though, so that was fun. Also, I'm gonna take a moment to appreciate the interconnectivity in this game. I know that a lot of people have already done that, but man are these shortcuts and connected areas cool. Oh, that's probably for Logan's cell. I'll go back there now, actually. Whoa! Yeah! So that's what happens when they get you. Oh no, not again. Ah! Alright. Logan, you gonna talk or...
That makes twice.
Ah, there you go. That was weird.
I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you.
Thanks, but I'm not really a sorcerer guy.
By the onward march of sorcery.
Ah, Logan, I see you've made your way out safely.
Hello there. I was expecting you. This place is truly magnificent. More than expected even. As promised, I shall share the new sorceries with you.
Oh, please.
The secret of Seath's immortality.
Oh, please, tell me more about that.
Ah. The secret of Seath's immortality. If you have fought him and were imprisoned...
Fought him is a strong assumption.
Seath is a true undead. Different from ourselves. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. His wounds close promptly, and no
Logan, buddy, you already said that.
true insulation
Okay.
from death. It is an effect of the primordial crystal,
Oh?
a sacred treasure pillaged by Seath when he turned upon the ancient dragons. So only by destroying the primordial crystal can you so much as scratch
And
his
where do I find this object?
And it so happens, the primordial crystal is in the inner garden of these very archives. The Crystal Forest.
Interesting. Well, thanks for the information.
The tomes stored in these archives are truly magnificent. A great pool of knowledge. The fruits of superior wisdom and an unquenchable desire for the truth. Some would say Seath had an unsound fixation. But his work is a beautiful, invaluable resource. All progress demands sacrifice, and I certainly bear no antipathy for that wonderful scaleless beast.
Good for you, I guess. You sure those enemies outside aren't bothering you at all?
Farewell.
Yeah, see ya. This room's really dark, so I tried using the skull lantern to light up the place, but it doesn't actually do anything, which is a shame. But I suppose some places having artificial darkness is necessary for the mood of the game. It is called Dark Souls after all. Whoa, that makes 2 mimics in the archives. You're really gonna want to develop a habit of attacking chests before opening them like me. Especially if you can't tell the difference between a real chest and a fake chest. Like me. Thank goodness I'm good at dodging these things' attacks. I remember them hitting pretty hard. And I earned the ability to wear them on my head apparently. Ah, now I'm down in the courtyard. Alright, lots of trees. I see some crystal golems. Why is the ground so uneven? Did those crystals do this? I decided to explore the whole courtyard, so I ran around killing these crystal golems. They're pretty easy to fight thanks to their slow attack speed, and they're not at all that durable either. A few swings and they're done. They actually do get a bit troublesome in groups. These golems rarely stagger, and when you take a swing at one, chances are that the one behind it is already halfway done with an attack animation and you didn't notice. So that's a point in their favor. Oh, this guy's the color of gold. Wonder what the difference is. Ah! Okay, they're a bit tankier and hit a little harder. This guy's a bit harder to deal with, but all I really have to do is to not get cocky. Whoop! Uh-oh. Ugh! Oh, I felt that blast of air through the screen. Haha! What the? Sigmire? What are you doing here?
It was you who rescued me.
Huh?
Why,
You're not
thank you. I am Sieglind of Katarina.
Sieglind?
I don't know how I ended up in that crystal. It wasn't terrible in there, but I could hardly move. I must think of some way to repay you.
Are you perchance related to a certain Sigmire?
Oh, have you seen my father? You wouldn't
I
listen.
think I have my
His arm
answer.
is just like mine.
I have, down in Los Izalith.
Thank goodness. I knew he was here somewhere. Well then, now I must find him. Thanks again, truly. Now I shall just stay put and keep out of trouble.
Your father's not the type of guy to do that, madam. And neither am I, apparently. Whoa, it's the armor of that crystallized knight from earlier. Power of the crystals grants high defense? Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Huh, the trees here have been crystallized as well. That's a cool detail. Alright, down into the dragon's den we go, I suppose. Not my first rodeo. Jeez, it seems like everything here is made of crystal. It's a wonder I'm not slipping and falling to my death. Whoa! Ah! Also, is that a moonlight butterfly? What's that doing here? Oh, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I did kill the moonlight butterfly in the Darkroot Garden off camera. I'm not telling you how that went. This one doesn't seem to be hostile, so I guess I'll just ignore it. Alright, give me a second. Yep, that's an invisible platform, alright. Is this some magic invention that Seath made, or is it just a really transparent crystal? Here I came across another gold-colored crystal golem. The last one I killed had a person stuck inside it. A very important person, in fact, so maybe it'll be the same for this. Ugh! Uh-oh. Whoa! Okay. Let's do that again. A bit more carefully this time. Alright, round 2, buckaroo. Hey-ya! Oh, Well, if there was somebody in there, they're dead now. I guess I'll just move past it. Another moonlight butterfly. You know, I wonder what happens when I hit them. Okay, they're hard as stone. Ugh! I better get out of here. Okay, another invisible path. Whoa! Okay, lesson learned. Don't attack the butterflies in this place. Ha! You missed. Oh, come. I had the feeling that the way forward was somewhere around here, but I just couldn't find it. This crystal side was a dead end, so I thought there was another invisible pathway at the other end, but this area is slightly less fun than the last place. I knew I was able to tell where invisible pathways are by looking at these drops of snow and where they fall, so I tried using that knowledge. Looking back at the footage, I'm surprised that I didn't see it, to say the very least. But you know, almost everything in this place is the same 2 colors of different hues, so everything just kind of blends together. Pretend that didn't happen by the way. After peering around a bit more, I found another invisible pathway that led somewhere. I don't know how crooked this one was compared to the others, but I wasn't taking any chances. I spent a while observing where the snow fell to ensure that I didn't fall, and then when I made it to the end, well, I underestimated how big that gap was. Attempt number 2! I was a bit more careless this time, so 3rd time's the charm. Alright. Right, I'm not doing this. Whoa, guys, I had the craziest divine revelation from God. He told me to go over here and use my eyes. Oh man, I would have never figured this out. You know, that other pathway probably leads to something, but I don't care enough to find out anymore. What on earth? Are these clams? Really, Seath? Is this your attempt at being seen as quirky and unique? Clam guards? Like most enemies in the game, the clams are fairly easy to fight if you're careful. Otherwise, you'll get pummeled. Other than that, they're not very noteworthy, a bit more challenging in groups. As for what they drop, I don't know, they didn't drop anything for me at least. So yeah, clams are clams. Moving on, I actually like the atmosphere of this place. The crystals cast a blue light on everything, but it's not the depressing kind of blue. It's kind of pretty actually. I'm really liking Seath's little gauntlet here. Ah, that's probably it. The primordial crystal. Well, let's waste no time, shall we? Very elegant looking. And I can feel the primordial energy it's emanating from here. Uh-oh, this doesn't feel good. Seath! There you are! You came to me? Well, this makes my job way easier. Prepare yourself for a thrashing, Seath, 'cause I'm gonna give it to ya! Yeah, stay mad. This isn't gonna be like last time. I don't need a plan to kill you. All I need is my sword. Let's talk about this boss fight. It was fun, but I'd say it doesn't demand as much skill on your part compared to other boss fights. I'd even go as far as to say that Seath was easier than the Gaping Dragon. You have yourself a big, lumbering target which makes him really easy to hit, especially if you possess a long weapon like mine. I deal pretty adequate damage on each hit. I don't expect any more for a dragon fight. Most of his attacks consist of these mouth lasers that cause crystals to grow out of the ground. With the right timing, you can dodge them pretty effortlessly. Also, I have no idea if you can cut off his tails. I didn't manage to cut off a single one during the fight, so I have to assume you can't. The one difficult move that Seath has is the AoE one, where a pulsating light explodes from his groin and causes crystals to grow out of the ground in waves. Having these crystals shatter on you causes curse to build up, which scared me slightly, but it isn't much of a big deal so long as you're careful. The AoE attack is easy to get away from. When you see it being cast, just run as far away as you can. The arena is pretty big, so as long as you don't corner yourself, you'll be fine. The boss fight may basically just be a gimmick fight where you destroy the crystal and then the rest is a piece of cake, but I still rather like it. In fact, it might be one of my favorite bosses so far. The whole fight, from the breathtaking arena, to the sleek and beautiful dragon you fight, to the lasers that come out of its mouth, it's beautiful, it's a spectacle to behold. Some people might not like those purely spectacle types of fights, but this gets a thumbs up from me. Anyhow, to conclude, dragons may be fearsome, but one thing that fantasy media has taught me is that the last thing you want to do is to put a dragon up against a knight. Good night forever, Seath. Our battle is one that I'll remember for a long time. Well, that's a job well done. And on my first try as well. This place truly is magnificent, but unfortunately I'll have to take my leave now. Farewell, Crystal Cave. Siegmeyer! Siegmeyer, are you still there? There you are. I've come to tell you about your daughter. How does he sleep like that? And in here of all places. Ah, Sieglind, we meet again.
Oh, hello again. But I haven't found my father yet. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's still in Los Angeles.
Really? Then I must be off. I'm sorry he's caused you trouble. He has a knack for that. If you just stay put.
Don't worry, I'm used to that. I find your father to be quite a jovial man. A shining beacon of amusement in these dreary lands. We need more men like him.
Why? What spectacular pyromancy? Tell me
What are you talking about?
I have never seen anything like it.
Yes?
Why, yes, of course. Thank you for sharing. I'm still an able pyromancer.
What?
I shall locate her myself. I'm in your debt once again. Goodbye then. Be safe, friend. Don't you dare go alone.
Thanks, pal, you too. I presume he's talking about that pale spider down in the ruins? Okay, and King Seeker Frank is asleep.
No, I'm fine. Well and wide awake. Do not treat me like an old withering snake.
Yeah, cool. Hey, I've slain 3 of the old lords. Got anything new to say?
I am pleased to see you well.
Nothing, I guess.
Is it something?
That'll be it for this episode. Man, a lot of really cool things happened today. Needless to say, the entire Seath quest is quite possibly one of my favorite parts in the game, if not the favorite. I'll be seeing you next time when we tackle the final hurdles of the 4 Lords arc. The 4 Kings.